And it's Dr. Ramani, and I want to thank folks everywhere, social media, all these other places. I'm getting these lovely birthday wishes for. Thank you. This was the year I almost forgot my birthday. Actually, I have a very sick parent and I'm attending to them in the part of the country they live in, so spending most of it in a hospital with her. So on this birthday, I've had a lot of time to think and wanted to sort of almost share a birthday message. First of all, a thank you. I'm at that age where you kind of, like I said, I kind of forgot because of everything that's going on in my life, but you also kind of want to forget. But I thought about, my birthday comes at the end of the year, right? December 30th. And so it's always a strange one because it's right up against New Year's, where it's these lists about the year and this and that and the other. And I thought to myself, I'm going to be frank with you. This was actually, I can say definitely the worst year of my life. I've never had such a bad year. And yet amazing things happen in this year. For me, everything is kind of, that could go wrong, kind of did go wrong. However, the part that went right is having a lot of opportunity this year to really punch out the work that myself and my team are doing on narcissism and narcissistic abuse. And it's the first time I'm really starting to see this work take flight. And I'm seeing real changes, not just in individual clients I work with, but I'm seeing how this might slowly start to inform how we train therapists, how we get this into workplace settings. The conversation has to keep happening. So I guess to all of you, you've given me a far greater birthday gift than you ever could know, in that you're willing to listen to this and learn from it. And if even one person recovers from me talking on and on this YouTube channel, then my work here is done. That's really all I ever went into this to do. But to go backwards, talk about this year, and I'm hoping this is a message, again, sort of a birthday message to share with you. That feels a little bit narcissistic to say it's a birthday message, but if suffice it to say, I'm not going to celebrate it this year. This is sort of the extent of it, is what I learned this year. And I think one of the things I really, really learned this year, and it's a lesson I want to pay forward to survivors, is when I break down this year, the worst year of my life, when I break down the stressors that came my way. And let me tell you, they started pretty much the first week of January of 2021 and went from there. Almost inevitably, they had to do with narcissistic people or narcissistic situations, or toxic people more broadly, and toxic situations. Situations where I felt gaslighted or invalidated or harmed or threatened. And it just kept coming and coming. I think part of it is the nature of the work I do. As you could imagine, it's going to attract people who have interest in this and sometimes just want to come at me in that way. And I thought, isn't this interesting? Because then I really thought about it this morning, and I thought, if that had been taken away, if toxic people had been lifted from my life, how much would this year have changed? 100%. Some of the stressors in my life wouldn't have. For example, my parents' illness would have been what it is. But beyond that, other than a few little things like a busted refrigerator and things like that, which didn't even make the top 50 of my problems this year, it was really about difficult people. It was about never really being able to rest. It was about dealing with the phone calls and the text messages and the emails and the HR departments and all of it, and having to deal with it on and on and on. And I recognize when I was doing that, I wasn't doing the things that mattered, right? Working on this channel, working on other writing, working on curricula I'm doing, working on what I'm trying, the treatment plans for the clients I work with, whatever it may be. It meant I wasn't doing that. And my head was pulled out of the game. And when I really took a look back at this year, this terrible, terrible year, I thought, damn it. Like, that's what this does. That's what this shit does. These kinds of people, this kinds of nonsense, and it's beyond nonsense. It's toxic and invalidating and abusive. And I recognize that online spaces have made this all so, so much worse, not just for me, but for everyone. And then I also feel like we are living in the time of sort of, and I've talked about this in a video, sort of narcissism entertainment porn. Like, you can't watch a show where at least a third of the characters aren't majorly narcissistic. On some days I find it entertaining, and on others I think, like, why do the writers keep trying to imbue these narcissists with those bits of virtue? Like, oh, It's frustrating. And I feel like it's around us all the time, the incivility in our world, whether it's road rage, whether it's rage incidents on airplanes, whatever it is we're reading about, it contributes to that. So I thought, okay, as this year ends, and I'll talk about that soon enough when I talk to you about New Year's, what do I hope for? And I'm recognizing, girl, Ramani, you've got to stop. You've got to do what you're telling everyone on this channel to do. Maybe that's my birthday gift to myself, is stop engaging. Start deep techniquing yourself. And while I don't do the defending and all of that as much, I do the engaging sometimes for no other reason but pity. So I got to let that pity, put that pity down. And as soon as I get a waft of toxic behavior, entitled behavior, difficult behavior, to learn to walk. So maybe the birthday present I'm going to give myself, which is to do that, is something I hope all of you can do as well. I actually sat with my sister and we made a vow to each other after we got into a bit of an argument that we were going to sit together and we were going to block the toxic people in our phone. It took a while and we did it and talked about it today. She's like, it's such an interesting feeling to know that those toxic people can't reach me. So whatever form that takes for any of you, it takes. But I will say, as I do the post-mortem on this last revolution I've made around the sun, this last year of my life, it reminds me that what it is, what I do on this channel, what we talk about, what many of you talk about in your lives, this issue around narcissism and narcissistic abuse, let me be the one to tell you this is all very, very real. Because if somehow I could, almost like you sift stones out of rice or something, like you would put something through a sifter, and I could take what was good out of this year, the stuff that would have remained in that sifter were difficult people, narcissistic people, antagonistic people, and all the things around that. And it wasn't even just people, it was sometimes situations and institutions and systems that just didn't work as they were supposed to and were also abusive. So to all the good people in my life, who stood there by me, watching me and dabbed up a lot of tears this year, thank you. To the team out there that supports me in making these YouTube videos, you know who you are. Thank you. And everyone who watches should thank them too, because they're the ones who technically make this possible. To everyone out there that I love, thank you. Because on my happy birthday, I figured it ain't a birthday. If I've spun around the sun one more time, I better have learned something from this year. And this year, my lesson is I need to take my own medicine. So again, thank you for all the good birthday wishes. Actually, it really is. This is a tough birthday year for me because of what I'm watching someone go through. So the wishes have been bringing just little bits of starlight into a day, and I'm really grateful for that. So hopefully next year, I will be bringing you a birthday message that's saying, I closed the gates and I did a good job. So let's see how that goes. Thank you again for supporting this channel, for supporting this work. And by all of you watching this channel, it really, really is creating a community and really giving substance to this issue of narcissistic abuse that a lot of people in mental health were not willing to talk about. But as we make more noise, so help me, on the air I breathe, we are going to get this issue lifted to a level where more and more people are going to be able to get the help they need. Thank you again for making my birthday special in its fashion.